On the 17th of February, 1977, a three-person submersible called Alvin descended 2.5 kilometers into the Pacific Ocean and found something nothing on the planet had prepared its crew for. The Galápagos Rift is a spur of the East Pacific Rise, 400 miles, 640 kilometers, west of Ecuador, and 250 miles northeast of the Galápagos Islands. The rift marks a line of young ocean crust, where two tectonic plates pull apart and fresh basalt rises from the mantle to fill the gap. The submersible sent to look at it, the DSV Alvin, operates out of the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution on Cape Cod. Alvin is a three-person, battery-powered deep-sea vehicle built around a titanium pressure sphere 2 meters in diameter, rated at the time to about 4,000 meters, more than deep enough for the rift, and shallow enough that nothing the designers had anticipated would break. On dive number 713, on the 17th of February, 1977, Alvin carried 3 people to the rift: its pilot, Jack Donnelly, and 2 scientists, John Corliss of Oregon State University and Tjeerd van Andel of Stanford. The expedition's surface vessel was the RV Noor. Alvin traveled to the site aboard its support ship, the RV Lulu. A hydrothermal vent forms where seawater seeps into cracks in the young ocean crust, descends into the rock, and meets magma. The water heats, in some systems, to temperatures the ocean floor above does not imagine. It rises back toward the seafloor, now carrying dissolved metals and sulphides stripped from the rock. When it meets cold seawater at the vent, the minerals precipitate out and build chimneys. The peer-reviewed record vent fluid temperature is 464 degrees Celsius, well above the boiling point of water at the surface, but kept liquid here by the weight of 2.5 kilometers of ocean overhead. The chimneys reach around 60 meters, 200 feet tall at their largest. They grow, topple, and regrow over years and decades. The 1977 Alvin dive was a geological expedition. The scientists expected hot water. They did not expect that every one of the 5 vent sites sampled in the following days would carry a surrounding community of animals. Giant tubeworms, Riftia pachyptila, up to 2 meters long, standing in dense white stalks around the chimneys. Mussels the size of dinner plates, crabs, limpets, vent shrimp, fish. The density of animal life at these sites was comparable to a shallow coral reef. Alvin's biology team, landed later that year, reportedly ran out of preservative and sent back specimens in quart jars of vodka borrowed from the pilots. They had not packed for what they had found. The problem the biologists had to solve was the obvious one. No sunlight reaches 2.5 kilometers down. No plant grows there. The entire base of every other ecosystem on Earth anyone had studied was photosynthesis. Whatever these animals ate, no plant had made it. The answer came in 1981. Colleen Cavanaugh, then a graduate student at Harvard, and her co-authors, writing in Science, proposed and demonstrated that the tubeworms have no mouth and no gut. Instead, each worm houses, inside a specialized organ called the trophosome, colonies of sulfide-oxidizing bacteria. The worm collects hydrogen sulfide from the vent water and oxygen from the surrounding ocean, binds both to a specialized version of hemoglobin, and delivers them to the bacteria. The bacteria use the chemical energy released in oxidizing that sulfide to fix dissolved carbon dioxide into sugars, a form of primary production. The sugars feed the worm. The base of this food web, it turned out, is not photosynthesis but chemosynthesis. No sunlight enters the chain anywhere. Before 1977, every textbook at every level stated that life on Earth was, at its base, solar-powered. Vents demonstrated a second, independent base. Since then, roughly 500 active hydrothermal vent fields have been cataloged across the world's spreading ridges and back-arc basins. About half confirmed by direct observation, the rest inferred from temperature and chemistry signatures in the water column above them. Each field is its own small ecosystem, running on the heat of the Earth's interior and the chemistry of its crust. It also changed what habitable means beyond Earth. Europa, the ice-covered moon of Jupiter, is now believed to host a saltwater ocean 60 to 100 kilometers deep beneath its frozen surface, over a rocky seafloor. Enceladus, around Saturn, is the same in miniature. Neither sees sunlight in any meaningful way. Neither has to, if the chemistry is right. The Galápagos Rift is one of roughly 500 known vent sites. The others, like it, lie in places that were not believed to contain any significant life. We keep finding them anyway.